All right, what's up, guys? This is the Awesemo.com NHL Hit the Ice show. Back again to talk about the 4 games tonight. We've got an early lock at 6 Eastern. 6 Eastern. So be aware of that if you are going to play. If you're watching this, you probably are going to play. So should be actually a pretty good slate. The question of the night, I guess, is do you play Colorado 1 or do you fade them? And I guess there's not a clear-cut answer to that, but it's definitely going to be a question you're going to have to mull over. Maybe you already have mulled over all day. If you're MMEing, I think it's pretty easy. Decide to go overweight or underweight on Colorado. Don't just full fade them. Don't play them in 100% of your lineups or anything like that. But if you are a single entry player, it's going to be pretty tough, I think, to make that decision. I'm going to be playing multiple lineups tonight, so also going to try to stay away from 4-3-1 and just play what I think are the best plays. Just housekeeping stuff. I wrote my Spotlight Stacks article earlier today, so you can go check that out on the site. That is free. I should probably post a link to this video in chat, but we also have the Morning Skate Notes by Nolan Kelly. He does a really good job at that, kind of gets you updated for the slate. So go read that either right now or when you're done viewing this. What else is on the site? Osmo's rankings will be updated before lock. My projections are updated. We'll have another update after the show, and then we'll talk about the promo code in a second once I put this link into chat. Hopefully you saw that new thumbnail as well. Pretty slick there. Thanks to Josh for making that. All right. Post that there. All right. Is anybody in chat right now? I can't see right now. All right, so once again, if you are watching this, just be aware on DraftKings, the lock does start at, or the slate does lock at 6 Eastern. So you've got an hour less. I don't know exactly what that's going to do to player pools. I guess we could probably check on that, or to the tournaments, whether they're going to fill or not. But I wasn't aware of that until this morning. I probably should have known that. And so that's why we're starting a little bit early today. We're probably going to have some people filing in at the normal time, which would be in 17 minutes. Umpire 344, what's up? Let's make some money tonight, huh? So these Friday slates, for whatever reason, I've just had really, I don't know if it's just variance, I've just had really good luck on these shorter Friday slates, even going back to last season. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I don't run 4-3-1. I have no idea, but it seems like all my big nights have been Fridays. So hopefully that is the case tonight. We've got NBA shows, everything else after that. After this, I think there's a 7-game NBA slate. So we're going to have the deeper dive with Laffy and Adam, and then the live before lock show with Chris and Fast Eddie Fear. Tomorrow we have an NBA strategy show, I think with EMAC and Adam. And then on the contrary with Awesemo, Evan Silva, and Chris Spags. I think that's probably our most popular show. So I think Evan's going to be back for that. Couldn't make it last week, but Nolan filled in brilliantly for him. All right. Promo code Hit the Ice gets you a free week of Awesemo.com Premium. So you can use the all access. Hit the Ice gets you access to Osmo's rankings, my projections. You do get Fantasy Cruncher included. You do get the premium Slack included. So come try us out for a week. The lineup builder that's on the screen right now, you would also get access to that, and as well as articles written by Osmo himself. So Lots of good stuff you get. It's free. So come try us out if you have not already. Feel free to give this video a like if you so choose. It would really help us out, help us do this for free moving forward. All right, that's enough housekeeping stuff. Let's get into the 4 games here. Gonna go through them quickly, and then depending on what you guys want to do, if we have a bunch of people in here, we can just talk about general strategy as well as maybe mess around with Fantasy Cruncher. We'll mess around with the lineup builder, and then we'll get out of here, give some room to the NBA guys for the rest of the night. All right, first game on the slate, we have Tampa Bay and the Vegas Golden Knights. No goalies confirmed for this. Again, if you're just tuning in, be aware. If you're playing DraftKings tonight, the slate locks at 6 Eastern, not 7 Eastern. So pay attention to this right here. 6 Eastern is the first game. You should know who's starting for goalies at, what would that be, 5:30 Eastern, so half an hour before this game starts. And then there are some question marks in the Sharks Hurricanes game, which is really annoying. So bad night to have an early lock, but we will keep chugging along. So probably Vasilevsky versus Marc-Andre Fleury. Vegas coming off a pretty disappointing performance. They had a home loss to Vancouver, which has actually been a pretty popular thing to do. They couldn't pull it off last night in Arizona, but Vancouver's had a bunch of road wins this year in games they probably shouldn't have won. I wouldn't expect a hard match in this game. I don't really see a reason, especially because Tampa has balanced out their lines. We saw at times they matched semi-hard with Vegas one, but I would expect they just roll lines here. So no real line matching. I'm just going to try to get exposure to the lines I think are very good. That would be Vegas 1. Their pricing is whatever, but if you're not playing Colorado 1, I think you're going to be different tonight. So I'm going to have some Vegas 1 exposure. I like the second line, and their pricing, just $15K on DraftKings in total, is appealing. And those guys all get power play time with Colin Miller, who's a little bit cheaper than Shea Theodore. So if you need those savings, Vegas 2 is not a terrible option. But I think my favorite line in this game is the Tyler Johnson line. They've just been really good on both ends, as has the Stamkos line. But just $6,500 Nikita Kucherov, and you can get exposure, play his line mates, and you're just not really breaking the bank. So that's probably the most appealing stack in this game for me. Their numbers are excellent. 54.3 Corsi for percentage, 33.8 scoring chances for per 60, 13.4 high danger chances for per 60, and then just not giving anything up on the defensive end. Neither of the two top lines in Tampa have given up really anything. So this one, I think there's a 5.5 total. We don't have it up right now, but I believe it's a 5.5 total. And kind of agree with that, but I like the Tampa 2 side the best. Vegas 1 and Vegas 2 aren't primary targets for me, but if we do have some uncertainty in the Sharks lineup, they could become more of a priority just out of necessity. I'm thinking about probably playing 50 or so lineups tonight, so yeah, I will have a bunch of Tampa 2 at the very least in this game. Defenseman, we've got Victor Hedman as a nice value, $450,500. He's probably the only guy that I'm going to have a lot of exposure to on the Tampa side. McDonough would be the other guy that I think is fine, but no power play. He's not listed on the power play and doesn't really do a ton of shooting or anything like that. Miller's the guy if you're going to Vegas 2. If you're going to Vegas 1, you're probably going to Shea Theodore. I believe he was on the top power play in the last game. So no more Brad Hunt here. This will get updated before lock. Hunt is not going to be on the power play. We don't believe. So I saw that, and Nolan posted that in his article, so go check that out once again. I should actually post the link to that right now. I'll post that in chat for you guys. Go check out Nolan's article. Goalies here, probably just correlating again. That's honestly what I do. That's not just a cop-out. So neither of these guys are priced crazy cheap or crazy expensive. I think they're both fairly priced. I'd rather get exposure to Vasilevsky here, but probably will have some exposure to both guys. All right. Winnipeg and Detroit. We have, let's see, a 6 total here, 3.35 to the Jets, 2.65 to the Red Wings. Some moving parts in this game. So Winnipeg put Nikolai Ehlers on the top line with Mark Scheifele and Blake Wheeler. Pretty enviable spot for Ehlers there, and he's somewhat cheap. He's 5,400. He's a guy I liked already, and now on that top line, I mean, maybe you could say there's not enough shots to go around or whatever, but I don't know how he doesn't fit in really nicely. The Laine line wasn't looking that great, or I guess the Laine experiment on the top line didn't go that great, but they gave it like half of a game, so who's to say it couldn't have worked out. Nonetheless, it's going to be Ehlers with Scheifele and Wheeler. I wouldn't expect them to blow that up unless for some reason we see Detroit jump out to a 2 or 3 goal lead here. Laine is going to be on line 2 with Brian Little and Kyle Connor. And this game is mostly about Winnipeg for me. Love the top line as a pivot to Colorado 1. I'm a big Ehlers fan. Like I said, he doesn't get power play one time, but he's 5,400. He makes that stack a little bit more affordable. On defense here, Trouba or Dustin Byfuglien are the 2 guys I probably want to play. Byfuglien did see the time on the power play, the top unit, even though he is listed. I think on Daily Faceoff he was listed on the second power play unit. He is going to get those top minutes, or at least he did last game. So just be aware of that. The Detroit lines are an absolute mess. Jeff Blashill continues to be bad at putting together quality lines. So you can see it right here. So you've got Larkin, Bertuzzi, and Darren Helm on that top line. I mean, Larkin and Bertuzzi, that's fine, both on power play 1. That's actually the stack that I prefer here if you're going to a Detroit line. Larkin grades out pretty well for 5,300. He can bring along Bertuzzi for the ride, and he's only 3,500. They're going to play together the entire game. So that's the appeal there for Detroit. The second line, Nielsen, Athanasiou, and Thomas Vanek, really tough for me to get to them. And then they're just so bad defensively that I think they could get smoked by whoever they're going up against. I don't expect a hard match here. Detroit hasn't been doing it yet. I don't know why tonight would be any different. If they're going to try to put the Franz Nielsen line up against Scheifele, I mean, be my guest. There's no way they're going to do that, though, with Vanek and Athanasiou on his line. They would have to be really, really stupid to do that. I don't know. Jeff Blashill, though, just continues to amaze us as DFSers. So who knows? But wouldn't expect any hard matches here. And then Nyquist and Mantha, those 2 are fine, but they're playing in between Luke Glendening. So it's just a complete disaster on Detroit's side. Yeah, it's hard to even talk about them. They're just so uninteresting for DFS. Very prone to getting their lines tossed in the blender mid-game. Seems like there's never any data on them, so you don't know how lines are gelling together because they switch their lines up so often. So they're the team I'm mostly avoiding. But Larkin and Bertuzzi are the 2 guys that I like quite a bit. Mike Green returning tonight. I got a question in chat today about his ice time. If he's going to get his 25 minutes. I don't know if he gets that many, but he is on the top pairing and top power play. Winnipeg does commit quite a few penalties going back to the start of last season. They're on the road here, so maybe Green gets an extra minute or 2 on the power play. He's a fine guy to pair with Larkin and Bertuzzi if you are going that route. But I'm probably not going to Green as a one-off defender. And then Chalowski is the guy that gets a bump down. He is up to 4,400. He's he's priced somewhat fairly, but without that top power play time, it's a little bit tough for me to get to him. Punts on D here. Ericsson's 2,500. He's a top 4 defenseman. If he makes it work with Colorado 1, and you need to get creative, then that's fine. He might see 18 to 20 minutes, and when you're doing that and you're min salary on DraftKings, there's merit in playing you no matter how subpar you are offensively. There's not really any punts that I'm looking at on Winnipeg's side. That third line isn't terrible, so if you're running 4-3-1s, they would be a line that I would get exposure to. But since I'm not running 4-3-1s, I'm going to stick in the top 6 for the most part with 3-3-2. Very rarely dipping down to the third line. So let's go to the next game, San Jose and Carolina. This is the one that is kind of the toughest to get a read on. But I didn't check to see right before this, or maybe something's changed since I've got on here in the last 15 minutes. But yeah, amazing thumbnail. So San Jose, their coach said that he has some guys with some things, quote unquote, meaning injuries. He hasn't decided on a lineup yet. And that just makes it so we are going to be scrambling after lock. I'm not going to be around really after lock, so this one is pretty tough for me to make a call on right now. But I'm just gonna go like everyone in this game is playing as expected. Or I guess maybe not as expected, but like Kane, Pavelski, and Erik Karlsson all missed morning skate. It was optional. I mean, who knows? Do all 3 of them play? I have no idea, but I don't know how else to really talk about this game, because if one of those guys is out, okay, it doesn't change that much. If 2 of them, or all 3 of them for some reason are out, then this slate is completely different because value's going to open up. You're probably going to see Donskoy with Hurdle or the Couture line. I mean, I just don't know what's going to happen. So if things go where everyone plays, then we're going to see Stahl go up against the Pavelski line. I looked last year, the Stahl line matched with Couture, but that was before Evander Kane came over. I think it's pretty clear that Pavelski, Kane, LeBanc are the top line for San Jose. So Stahl is going to get them. Teravainen is going to see the most time against the Couture line for the Sharks. And then it just becomes a numbers game like that. So that's why we like the matching here. Carolina 1 has been absolutely dominant, still at even strength, a 68 Corsi for percentage. That's pretty wild this deep into the season. And that does hurt San Jose 1's value, I think, a little bit. They're still cheap enough where I think they're okay to use, but not a good even strength matchup for them. If I'm going to San Jose at this point, it's probably with the power play stack. So it would be like Pavelski, LeBanc, and Couture with Brent Burns or something like that. But that adds up pretty quickly. So it's just going to be tough to go to San Jose here, or at least make a call on them right now. The lines I do prefer, if they're both fully there, if they're both intact, are the Aho line versus the Couture line. Good thing I didn't listen to the do not play Crosby and Cash. Yeah, that worked out. How many did Crosby end up with? Did he go nuts? I mean, Malkin was still the play, though, right? Malkin had like 7 or 8 DK points, maybe? I don't remember. But, yeah, Aho versus the Couture line is the clear target. Going to be super high-paced, even strength-wise. San Jose 2 is giving up almost 14 high-danger chances against per 60. Carolina 2, or I guess it's listed on the screen as Carolina 1, they're giving up over 14 high-danger chances against per 60. So should be pretty back and forth, assuming those two see a ton of time against each other, which I think is a pretty fair assumption at this point. Defenseman in this game, I mean, I'd like the savings with Erik Karlsson if he's in $1,400 is quite the difference between him and Burns, and they're not that different of a play here. As far as minutes go, I think that they're going to see about the same. Karlsson maybe a few more minutes, which is even better. He saw 24 last game. He's seen 20 in every single game. He's seen up to 29 in games. So Karlsson would be the guy. Much better value. Osmo has him as a better value here as well. I do agree with that. Brent Burns, the higher ceiling, of course. He's got higher goal equity. Probably going to put more shots on goal. Just make sure Karlsson is in the lineup. Goes without saying, but with this funky lock, with this game starting an hour and a half after lock, you're going to want to be near a laptop or a phone or a desktop, whatever you use to make swaps, especially if you're dealing with multiple lineups. So it's going to be tricky for me because I'm not going to be near a laptop. I will have my phone, but I'll be with my family, so it's going to be pretty tough to try to make swaps here. So we'll see how that ends up. Hopefully you see me at the top of the leaderboard, but if not, you guys can win all the money tonight. All right, Vlasic 4,300 gets power play 2-time. If Karlsson's forced to miss, I don't know, maybe he sees a couple more minutes. I guess they play on the same pairing, so I don't know, but he's 4,300 block shots. Carolina is really good at shot attempts, so Vlasic's the guy who could block a few shots here, especially if Karlsson is forced to miss. And then on Carolina's side, with that top line, Falk is the power play 1 guy, but Dougie Hamilton is just, I think, such a better play at 5,200. Top pairing with Slavin, second power play unit, so there's some correlation there with Teravainen, but I just think Dougie Hamilton's so much better for DFS, whereas Falk's value comes from the power play. I like the even strength matchup for that AO line, so give me some Dougie Hamilton on Carolina's side. If you're looking for a punt, Van Riemsdyk is third pairing, but he's at least okay. We've seen him play 15, 16 minutes, and that's really all you can ask for 2,700. Goalies, it's going to be Dell versus Peter Mrazek. I mean, Dell is underpriced, and he's going to see a lot of shots. So as far as upside goes, realistic upside, Craig Anderson probably has the most upside because he's super cheap and he's going to see a ton of shots, or at least we're expecting him to see a ton of shots. But in terms of not only upside but also being good, Aaron Dell is the clear option here. Osmo does agree. He's got him as an A value. I would agree with that. Third line here is actually somewhat interesting for Carolina. Should mention them. By the third line, I mean this Martinuk, Walmark, and Svechnikov line. Those are some tongue twisters. I agree with the value that Osmo has there. They're seeing more minutes than this line, the listed third line. They're going to avoid the top 6 for San Jose. And if there's more injuries, that makes their bottom 6 even worse. So that would be a nice little boost. And this would be the line that if you're going to Colorado 1, they make it work pretty well. So don't just forget about them. You're playing them for even strength. You're getting barely any power play time out of those 3, but super, super cheap. And you can fit Colorado 1 with Tyson Barrie. And that's a pretty solid option on this slate. Let's go to the last game. And then we will maybe build some lineups. Or go on Fantasy Cruncher, one of the two. I guess we're building lineups either way. All right, Ottawa and Colorado. We've got the team totals up, as you see now. 2.6 implied for Ottawa, 3.5 for Colorado. I mean, this is the question of the night, right? So Colorado 1 is crazy expensive on DraftKings. They're very expensive on FanDuel too. And if you play them, you're going to be forced into a few different line. If you play them and you're playing 3-3s or 4-3-1, you're going to be forced into, not many lines you can fit with them. And I always hate doing that. Like, I don't mind playing chalk. It is a short slate, but I'm going to avoid playing those three like with Tyson Berry because literally then you were really handcuffed. And the guys that do MME with 150 are going to have a big advantage. Single entry, you're going to see some massive ownership on McKinnon especially, but Landeskog and Rantanen won't be too far behind. It's just such a good matchup. Ottawa is atrocious, and they actually haven't been terrible at limiting quality chances. I think they're 20th in high danger chances against. So not as bad as I would have thought, but shot suppression is an issue. I mean, you've got a really dominant line in Colorado 1. They're so good at creating high danger chances. McKinnon looks like he moves at a different speed. So I've got nothing bad to say about Colorado 1. I project them to be the highest scoring stack. San Jose, with the injuries, does make me worried. That'd be a nice pivot spot. I like Carolina 1, but no one has the upside, the slate-breaking upside that this line has right now. They're at home, exactly where you want. The numbers that they have aren't great. I don't really know what to do with that just yet, but like watching them, I've seen a few of their games so far this year. They look incredible. So I don't know. Numbers aren't just everything. McKinnon looks incredible. This line has a full year of line data where they were dominant, especially at home in the second half of the season. So if you're playing Colorado 1, I would just suggest getting different some way. So that could mean a power play stack. That can mean including Tyson Jost right here. He is on the fourth line, but does get power play one time. If he somehow pulls out a goal on the power play, you're in a really good spot. So could be power play stack, could be a double defenseman stack. So if you want to play Tyson Berry with Ian Cole and Colorado 1, getting all the even strength correlation there. It could be leaving out one of Rantanen or Gabriel Landeskog. As scary as that is, I mean, you just have to get different in some way because the people that MME and play 4-3-1 are going to have all the possible combinations. And they're really good players. A lot of them are. So don't do what everyone else is doing. Just play it differently. You could Josh stack it. We talked about Josh stacking last time. Maybe we can mess around with some Josh stacks after this. I was like Josh stacking on a shorter slate like this. But just don't do what everyone else is doing when you're playing Colorado 1. You can play chalk. It's chalk for a reason. This is very good chalk, even though it is expensive. I think it's warranted. So that's my Colorado 1 spiel. On the Ottawa side, they're kind of a mess too. But I will say I do like the second line. Tierney, Zingle, and Mark Stone. I don't think we're going to see a hard match from Colorado 1. They haven't really done much of that this year that I recall. They're probably going to see some time against both the top 6 for Ottawa, but they've been pretty bad defensively. So I like Tierney, Stone with Zingle. Zingle's shooting a bunch. Stone is probably their best player, as Steve said the last time he was on. And then Tierney, he's not terrible, but I wouldn't play Tierney as a one-off. I would play him in the context of a stack because he's not a guy that's he's not a 2-goal scorer type of guy, whereas I think Stone or even Zingle could do something like that. He's more there for assist equity and just savings. Anything else in this game? Duchesne, Colin White. I mean, man, it's just really tough. I'd so much rather play a bunch of lines ahead of them. I'd rather play Larkin and Bertuzzi ahead of them. So probably not going to have much Senators exposure outside of that second line. Defenseman here. I should probably check chat right now. I'm like Detroit 2 with Colorado 1. No. I'm staying away from Detroit outside of Larkin and Bertuzzi. So I probably wouldn't go Detroit 2 with Colorado 1. I mean, that's going to be a stack that a lot of people have just because it fits. But I want to get creative with my Colorado 1 lines tonight. Or Colorado 1 lineups tonight, not lines. Defenseman here, Chabot. Lajoie is Steve's guy. He's listed as an A value. Don't really love that for 4,600, but he's going to play a bunch of minutes, as will Dylan DeMello, who is 3,600 and on top pairing. Other notes in this game, I guess on Colorado's side, much prefer Tyson Barrie over any of the other defensemen. But if you need to punt, I think Nemeth is okay as a punt for 2,900. Guy that does block shots. He does shoot when he gets the ice time. Third pairing is kind of tough, but he's the guy that I think is okay as a punt. I like Andrew Ghetto as a one-off, or even in a full stack with Kerfoot and Mark Dono. Problem is, I don't want to play Colorado without playing Colorado 1, or at least a part of it, and they don't correlate to them at all. None of them are on the power play with McKinnon, Rantanen, or Landeskog. Mantha, they traded to Vegas. What do you mean? You mean Tatar? Looking to rebuild. Wait, what? Nate Mack is good. Yeah, he is good. Ottawa with no EK. Yep, he's on the Sharks. Yeah, you're thinking of Tatar. He got traded to Vegas last year. But yeah, that's really about it on the slate. It is. It's really about Colorado 1. So I don't know how else to put it. Like, we had a couple slates like this last year, and it seemed like Colorado 1 got there every single time. There are other good plays though, so don't feel like you have to go there. I like the Scheifele line with Ehlers up there. I like Tampa 2 quite a bit with Kucherov. So there's ways around it, but Sharks injuries make it tough. And just nothing else really in that Ottawa-Colorado game, and then all of a sudden you're limited for options elsewhere. So gonna be an interesting slate. Let's see if we can build some Josh stacks here. Grubauer, an A value in Osmo's rankings. That's interesting. Wouldn't expect him to be an A value for 8,100, but I think they are the largest favorite on the night, unless it's Winnipeg. Nope, they're larger than Winnipeg. Minus 215 right now. Winnipeg is minus 163. So this is what I mean by it, be different. I guess I'll start with maybe what not to do. Not what not to do, but what I wouldn't do if I'm building a Colorado 1 lineup. Remind me about the Josh stacks. Yeah, well, the Josh stack is a 5 or in some cases 6-man stack all on one team where you're getting exposure to 2 lines instead of just one. And some people call it like an onslaught. Same thing, same idea, and you usually play the goalie with them because if you're expecting a team to score 7 goals, 6-7 goals, then you are expecting that goalie to win, obviously. So this is what I probably wouldn't do. Oh, we can't even do that, man. What's a good example? What's a line that fits that people are going to play? Like this. It's like, okay, you got 2 home lines. You've got the goalie in there. Now you've got 4,400 left over. Like, this is going to be duped. Something like this. Maybe Vlasic gets switched out. But, like, if it's easy to fit in tonight with Colorado 1, I would suggest making tweaks. And that doesn't mean blowing up your lineup. But unless you have 150 to play with and you want to roll 4-3-1 all the time, sure. But, yeah, it's just, I don't think that's a profitable long-run strategy unless you are MMEing and you know what you're doing when you're MMEing. So I'm not maxing that $8. It is a good payout structure. At least the min cash is 2 times. But like I was thinking like 50 lineups in the $8 and I'm running 3-3-2s because I know I am at a disadvantage by not having 150 in there, but I don't see the need to put 150 in there tonight. Let's see. What's another Josh stack we could do? Actually, let me run this. What's this? So this is on Osmo.com. You guys get play it, yeah. Free 7-day trial with promo code Hit the Ice. You get access to this Fantasy Cruncher, Osmo's rankings, my projections, the lineup builder that we were just on, the premium Slack. You get into that. That is always a good time. A lot of useful information being traded off. I'm in there. You can tag me if you want. Tag Steve. Bots is in there. Chris Wassel. So quite a few good hockey minds in there, as well as our subscribers. We got some really good subscribers in there. So promo code Hit the Ice. Read Nolan Kelly's Morning Skate article. Power Plays by Bots and Chris. Sign up. It's free. I don't know how else to put it. Give us a like if you liked this show. Next, we're not done just yet. We're going to go through some crunches. I'm going to show you maybe some settings that you can try out tonight. Tomorrow there's a 7-game slate, so maybe a pretty good time to try out the free trial, because you will get access to Fantasy Cruncher. If you wanted to try MMEing, I'm assuming there's going to be a mini max tomorrow. It'll probably be $75 to max enter. Get 150 lineups in there. Pretty doable. Let me do like 20% randomness. We're going to do shorter slate. I like to do something like this. 50,000. You can leave defenseman in there. So now you'd go to this, stacks. Like if you're running 4-3-1 or 3-3, let's do 3-3. We're gonna add all. We're gonna do any line. We're going to change this to 25 and 25 just so we get a good spread of everyone. Okay, so these are Fantasy Crunchers projections that I have in right now. If you get that free trial, or if you're a premium member, you have access to my projections, which you can upload. That is super easy to do, and you can use those if you want to try them out. All right, so you see right here, like McKinnon is just such a better play than everyone else. Man, it's on. What site are we on here? What's going on? Ah, that's why. Can't just play all the best guys here. All right. So you've got McKinnon. These are kind of the lines. I like to just run Fantasy Cruncher and see who I can fit maybe the chalkiest stacks with, to see how I can stay away from not only the chalk players, in some cases see how I can play the chalk players, just to try to get an idea of what's going to be a chalky lineup construction using this 3-3. And you can basically see every line that fits right now. If you're playing Craig Anderson, would you ever consider doing it in a higher stakes tourney where Colorado 1 will be much more heavily owned? I wouldn't play Craig Anderson. The reason I wouldn't play Craig Anderson in a higher stakes tournament, you're saying for leverage, because I don't think people understand necessarily how goalie leverage works. Um, a goalie can still see a ton of shots and have a really good score with the opposing offense getting there. So, like, let's say, like, yes, Craig Anderson's going to see a ton of shots. Like, he could see 40 shots tonight. And if he sees 40 shots, or let's say he has 40 saves even, but allows 3 goals, but those 3 goals are all from Colorado won. Like, yes, Anderson, like, the play worked out, but it didn't get you leverage to the point where Colorado won wasn't the nuts. So I don't think goalie leverage works the same way as maybe like a stack in baseball where you're like, if the pitcher gets blown up and you have the stack against him, you're creating a ton of leverage because that pitcher's probably getting negative points. Yeah. Jimmy Howard 2 nights ago had 35 saves, but gave up 3 goals, maybe 40 saves. If he does that but gives up 3 goals and the goals are from the right people or the wrong people in your case, like if McKinnon, Landeskog, and Rantanen all get a goal in there, yeah, it's still a good play if he does eke out the win, but the Colorado 1 lineups are not dead, whereas in other sports, the leverage plays, so your lineup gets elevated while others get dead, basically. The Ottawa Josh stack would be the ultimate leverage for high stakes. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I think some people will be on Ottawa at high stakes. I think some people will be on Stone and Zingle and Tierney. They're pretty, affordable. If you're not like Winnipeg 1 and Ottawa 2, I think that'll be duped. Yeah, just the ownership game with goalies. No, I mean, I don't think it's an ownership game with goalies. I think I like to correlate. I know some people are against it. I haven't done the math behind it, but I just, for the most part, I want my goalie to get the win and see a fair amount of shots. So there are spots where I won't correlate. Like, I probably don't want to correlate Vegas 1 with Grubauer because it just restricts my salary so much. But like if Boston's at home against Ottawa, you wouldn't want to play Tuukka or whoever it is, Halak, because he's probably not only going to be expensive, but won't see a ton of shots. That he needs a shutout to pay off there. And I'd just rather not pay up for goalie in general on a normal size slate. Any sleepers for 2,700? Let's see if we can find some. Wingers or defensemen? This guy, Joseph. I didn't mention Tampa Bay 3, but I think they are okay. Cirelli is really cheap at 3,400. Killorn does get top power play time. And they're just super cheap as a trio. So, utility. Anyone for 2,700? Man, you're really scraping the bottom of the barrel tonight. I think 2,800 is probably the lowest you can go. Like you see Brennan Dillon in here. Van Riemsdyk, you're probably just wanting a defender that is going to play 16 to 18 to maybe 20 minutes if you get really lucky for 2,700. So I don't think there's anything wrong with putting a defender in the utility spot if it's your last spot. Going with 3 defensemen, if you're playing Colorado 1, like if you want to punt 2 defensemen and play Tyson Barrie like this, let's actually try it out. This is another way to differentiate. So if you're going with Tyson Barrie, let's say you want, who's a cheap duo we could play? Let's see, Larkin, Bertuzzi. They're pretty cheap. And then let's say you want to go with Erickson. He's 2,500. And now you're probably going to need another punt. Let's say you want to go with, who's going to play? Punt defenseman here. Don. Nick Holden. So you'd obviously change him out, but you don't even have to go that cheap. Go with Howard. Who's another defenseman you can play for 47? There. Or Mike Green. And still get up to Fleury. So that would just be a way to get different, playing 3 defensemen tonight. Now, the defensemen aren't great tonight, so it's more of just a general thing. But, yeah, if you can play 3 defensemen with Colorado 1, the defenseman minimum salary is cheaper. So if there's a guy at $2,500 that's going to get some minutes, and he makes makes the lineup fit, there's no problem with that at all. 2.4 GPA. Osmo doesn't really like my lineup there. What else should we do here? Let's see if anything else is interesting on Colorado 1. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't force in 3 defensemen. It's just if it makes the rest of your lineup work and you don't sacrifice a ton, do it. How do you do goalie stacks with your stack? On Fantasy Cruncher, Raj? Is that what you're talking about? I can show you how to do that. Man, I just talk so much. Don't realize. Hurts my throat. On FC? All right. Let me make sure you can see this. But so you're going to go up to... yeah, Matt Murray was one of the guys I liked just because I knew he was going to get the volume. Now, I'm sure I had a ton of misses last night too. But, you know, not patting myself on the back. But he just was going to see the volume. And... if you're going to see the volume and I like skaters from your team, might as well put him in hopes that he does have a bigger performance. It works out some of the time. A lot of the time it doesn't, but you're looking for upside. And if the goal is cheap and he's going to see a lot of shots, maybe it's not an optimal spot. Maybe it's not a guy you would consider for cash, but yeah, Murray was one of the guys. I think he was 73 or 7,400. I also think I said the same thing about Mike Smith, who got completely torched. Yeah. What were you doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, so you're going to go to position stacks. So you would make a stacking rule. You would go stack goalie with at least however many players. Let's say you wanted 1 player of center, wing, D from same team. So now your goalie will always be tied to at least 1 player from the same team. Let's say you want to do it for 3. There you go. Classic Mike, for sure play him next start, right? Yeah, that's the type of goalie he is. So I'm going to show this to you, Raj, so you can see how this kind of works. Hopefully it does work. Yeah, here we go. We'll get off here in a couple minutes. I'll give you guys an hour and a half or so to make your lineups if you haven't already. Do your crunches, whatever. Cruncher just moves so quick on these shorter slates. Man, too bad it doesn't move like this for bigger slates. All right, so you see here, you've got the Vegas 1 stack and Fleury's your goalie. You've got the Winnipeg 1 stack. Brossois. He's your goalie. Same thing here, but the goalie is paired with the other stack. So, does that make sense to you, Raj? Yeah, dude, no problem. Hockey, I love hockey. Yeah, I think hockey's an awesome DFS sport. You know, I'm not going to say it's the best because that's, you know, it's all subjective, but yeah, dude, hockey, it's fun to watch. It's fun to make lineups, I think, when the pricing is tight enough. It's not as fun tonight when you've got to worry about kind of late swapping and all that, but definitely an edge, I think. So, yeah. Hockey is top 1 for me. Hockey's my favorite. Just wish there was more money in it. You know, the prize pools were bigger. All right. What was I going to do here? Yeah, whatever. The San Jose lines, Kevin. We don't know exactly what their lineup's going to look like. I'll read up more on Twitter. I may have missed something, but yeah. Been blowing up FanDuel pretty much every day. Let's do one more thing and then we'll get out of here. Let's do let's throw it back to baseball here. We're gonna go with a 5-player stack. No, we're gonna do a 4-player stack. 4 players with, we'll go power play unit 1. Five-player Penguin stack last night was the nuts. Yeah. That it was. How did you guys do last night? I mean, I won a ticket and I basically broke even with the rest of my money, so it was a net positive. But yeah, it was. I don't know. I felt like I should have had a better night. So I did win a ticket, the Spinorama or whatever. So that was nice. You binked? You binked FanDuel? What'd you bink? Why are you asking me questions? I should be asking you questions, Raj. All right, let's do some PP stacks. Look at this. This is another way to get a little bit different. Ooh, I don't like that. FanDuel quarter? Nice. Did you have you had a pit, what was that, pit 2? Or what, pit power play? Crosby, Malkin, Kessel. I know Kessel had a couple of goals. It's a good job. Good job, Raj. I just know how to make lineups. Yeah, I mean, that's even in some cases more important than knowing the actual sport. So, you know, there's an edge for sure to line matching and such, knowing who plays together with who at certain strengths. But yeah, if you know how to make lineups, well correlated lineups in NHL, you can be successful. And then the next piece is learning how to match, or not learning, but just putting the work into doing it and learning coaches' tendencies. All right, so you see we've got some different lineups here. Probably wouldn't go to this line. But see here? Aho with Justin Williams and Zykov. See if we can pit Buffalo and some random one-off. You don't even know his name? Man. All right, we've got 800 left. See, I'd rather do something like, all right, maybe I'd upgrade the defenseman. I guess. Why would it not put in Teravainen? Oh, because we're doing a power play stack. That's why Teravainen's listed on the second use. 2-man advantage on DK is about to fill. Is that right? That's exciting. That's good news. Yeah, it is. It's almost filled. Look at that. We're going to fill an NHL tourney early when we needed to, because now we'll get better tournaments, hopefully. Yeah, that's pretty good news. I'm glad that $8 filling. I think I have my lineups in there. So I didn't max it, Ben. No. Oh, these are my projections. No, I didn't max it. I put 50 in there think I'm going to be able to get a good enough spread. And I'm running 3-3-2s, and I'm not going to be around after lock that much. So hopefully nothing catastrophic happens. And I just don't want 3 times the lineups. And the thing is, in the $8, if you max that, like, you have to get a top 3 or 4 score for you to get your money back on one entry. So not saying you can't still profit without getting a top 3, but it's way tougher if you're really trying to diversify. So I think the most I put into the $8 this year is 100, and that's what I did last night. So I'm probably going to stick to that for now, at least. We'll see. All right, what time is it? Yeah, we can probably get out of here. We've got, all right, guys, make sure you remember, lock is in an hour and 24 minutes. It is not in 2 hours and 24 minutes. 6 Eastern, not 7 Eastern tonight. Get your lineup set. If you forget and it's 5:58 Eastern, take all the early players out of your lineup. Use only late players. So you have an extra hour and a half to late swap. Trust me, you'll be happy. Don't scramble trying to get your lineup in if you're trying to stack Vegas or Tampa Bay. Just be aware that lock is an hour early tonight because DK didn't make it super clear. They kind of just sprung this on us and didn't really note it. I mean, it does say, but and a little message would be nice about hockey locking earlier, but whatever. The tourney did fill early, which is nice. Promo code Hit the Ice, free 1-week trial to Osmo.com Premium. You get my projections, Osmo's rankings, Fantasy Cruncher that we just played around in. It looks intimidating at first, trust me, but it is a great tool. It is the best tool in the industry, I think. Try it out for a week. Premium Slack chat you get access to. The lineup builder. Love the lineup builder. Really good for hand building stuff. If you are not an MME player, if you're trying to build cash lineups, you can get a GPA score based on Osmo's rankings, which is really nice. And then, yeah, that's pretty much about it. Guys, give us a like if you do like this show. Steve will be back on Tuesday, hopefully with us. He's still gone, but he's going to try to do a remote, as we're always doing remotes, but he won't be in his normal apartment. He will maybe be joining us from elsewhere. Good luck this weekend. I'll be in Slack tomorrow morning. I'm working tomorrow morning, so hit me up. I'll be doing the stacks article, projections as always every single day. Thanks for joining us. Good luck tonight. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up in Slack. It's probably the better place to reach me. Good luck, guys.